Well, good morning, YouTube. Afternoon. Oh, I don't know. I must apologize. I did not push the record button earlier. Not a lot of big changes going on. Did some welding. Really, all I've done is I've got that edge there cleaned up. Ooh, where's my finger? Right along there. I've neatened that up. I welded a patch in along here. Because am I in the right spot? Yeah, right along there. Because that inner rocker was riddled with holes, so I reinforced it all right up to the subframe. So slowly I'm going around. Basically that corner's set for the floor now. I have to clean it up back to about there. And then finish that. That loop's okay. Here I've got to do the same thing. I've got a few holes right in this area here that I've got to make a little patch for. I'm going to do the same thing as I did there. Just new lip, basically about 2 inches long, welded in. Then I got to clean up this edge here, and then the new floor goes in. Yeah, simple. Clean this cross member up. But that's what I'm doing. Slow but steady. Not a lot to report. Bring you back when there's something. That's the extent of my morning so far. Can't really, there's not much progress to show you. There's work being done. A lot of it's sweeping the mess up every time I hit this thing. But I made a patch up for this. This was an area that the park brake mechanism bolted to. So I have welded in a piece of metal. Tried to kind of follow the body line that's in the firewall here in the upper cowl. Tried to mimic that with a little bit. I mean, from here over, there's a fender that covers all of this. No one's but me is ever going to see it. Probably just went a little overboard with the welding and trying to blend it all in. I'm still going to have to put a layer of filler over that. I think some, what do you call it, the kitty hair to make sure I don't have any pinholes. Park brake cable comes in down through here. What I got to work on now is I've got to fix these little holes here, so that it's too bad I wasn't able to just patch those holes somehow, like maybe putting a piece of copper or something behind there and welding them in with MIG, but it's too thin. I'm gonna have to probably cut it out like I did the other side, and then I might be able to start trying fitting the floor pan in here this afternoon. But that's about all I've gotten to today. Just got that patch in. I'm happy with it. Had to do a little bit on the top side there as well. The inner fender goes right there, so everything rotted in this area, I guess. Of course, this is the cowl where all the water sits too, so that's about all I've done this morning, other than sweeping the floor. We shall keep carrying on. Gotta get this corner done. Well, guys, we're back on it. We're still working. I got that floor plan in there for the first time, just kind of see where I'm at. I'm still a little tight in that corner there. I can't get it to drop down into its lip. That I've got some welds there I need to grind down. It's just getting hung up on them. It's a pretty tight fit. It's going to be good. Up along the front here, this is all lining up nicely. Along here is going to be able to spot weld that real nice. There's that tin piece there that I added. I haven't welded that in yet because I want to be able to bring it up flush to the floor pan, which is going to work out pretty good. Other than that, we're doing pretty good along the edges here. It's fitting into its little factory grooves. Once you push it down, it's still kind of lifted up there. But my goal is to get this sitting in there. I might not be able to weld it tonight, because there's going to be a lot of in and out, I imagine. I've got to mark the cross members underneath, pull it back out, drill holes, put them back in, mark the holes. It'd be a lot of the in and out, I imagine, before I weld that in. But that's my goal, is to get this floor pan in, get my frame cross members welded, give it all that rigidity up here in the front, so the whole front from here forward is solid. And then I can keep going to the back if I want, and I know the front's not going to move on me. So there we go. Bring you back when there's something exciting to see. Alright. this is what we got. Put it in there, got it fitting the way I liked it. Got underneath her, laid out the cross members. I gotta drill them out. My fancy punch won't take care of that for me, so I'm gonna have to drill it. Obviously, the whole edge I can use. There's a couple of supports at the top there that have to be spot welded in. I have to leave a space here because the 4-speed hump, I gotta cut all that out. Hopefully that goes well. I don't want to have to, I want to put it in and cut it out later. But I've coated everything that I'm not going to be able to get to the top side of later. I'll have to give a little hit with the grinder to clear off the spots I got to weld to. I welded the kick bracket in there and there. I'm going to weld that cross member or the frame in before I go any further, so I've got a good access to weld to it. I'm not laying on my ass. Sorry about my French. But there's your update. I'll bring it back. Maybe I'll get a few spot welds in this afternoon. I'm not sure. I'm going to let that dry and make sure. I got to double check all my heights and widths and whatnot up here before I go any further, in case once that's welded in I can't go back. See you later. So I've already drilled out majority of my holes from the back side. They give you a little flare out like that when the drill bit goes through, so I'm just taking the edges off now. So it's got a nice flat. Those little edges just give you a hard time when you start welding. Never had a lot of luck if I left them. I was able to use my little flange tool all around the edge there, so that worked out okay. We're going to try and fit this now, and then mark my holes to make sure I'm going to be hitting the spots that I want to hit. And this is likely what you'd consider a two-person job. But hey, don't scratch the paint. Glove. Alright. So there you are, boys. She's in. Yeah, I know, she's not 100%. There, now it's 100% in. It's looking like I'm pretty good. I gotta get that edge, everything dropped down. That's why I'm a distance away. But we'll wiggle and fiddle it and see where we're at. Well, this is where we'll be leaving off. She came home, she made me dinner, she fed me, and now all I want to do is put my feet up and rest. It's been a long day. So we got the frame welded in. Happy with that. It meets good with the floor. It still moves in the front because it hasn't been tied to the firewall yet in this area here. Once the floor pan's welded to the firewall, this is welded to the firewall or to the floor, and then there's a front tag piece that gusset. I mean, it all hinges on this corner in here, which is nice and solid now. So we'll get there, just not this weekend, guys. So I'll step out of my office here, and I think we shall call that done. Project Cuda. I think we're 8, maybe 9. Part 9, maybe. We'll see. See you guys. Have a good week. See you next weekend.